Hello and welcome back to Culinary Haven. This week's episode is a special birthday edition. We're making a dessert called Melktert to celebrate our friend's birthday. It's a South African milk tart, which is similar to custard tarts, only it has a more delicate flavor and a lighter texture. It's simple, elegant, and delicious. Let's begin. To make our Melktert, we'll need 200 grams of plain flour, 100 grams of caster sugar, 100 grams of butter, 1 egg, half a teaspoon of almond extract, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of baking powder. And for the filling, 600 ml of milk, 2 large eggs, 40 grams of butter, 100 grams of sugar, 2 tablespoons of cornflour, 2 tablespoons of plain flour, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla sugar. We'll also need a bowl to mix our dough and a baking dish, either a tart tin or this ceramic flan dish that I'm going to use. And I suggest you'll line it with parchment. It will be much easier. Just take my word for it. To prepare our filling, we'll need a heavy bottom saucepan that will make sure that the milk, when we cook it, is not sticking to the bottom of the pan. Into a bowl, we're going to sift the flour, salt and baking powder, half a teaspoon of each, and 100 grams of caster sugar. Sift it all in. And now cube the butter. It should be not terribly cold, but not too warm. Say 10 minutes out of the fridge. Cube it and just let it sit for 10 minutes so we can manage it. We're going to add it to the flour and rub it together. You can also do it in a food processor or a stand mixer with a paddle attachment, but it's just very easy to do it by hand. Just rub them together between your fingers, the flour, sugar and butter. And it will save you from having to wash your mixer. Like this. It will be sort of a large, flaky breadcrumb consistency. And that's enough. Next we're going to whisk the egg. Just crack it first into a little bowl and whisk it with half a teaspoon of almond extract. I just find that easier to distribute the almond flavor throughout the dry ingredients. That's it. Now we're going to add that to our butter and flour mixture and mix a very soft dough. Actually, I'm going to do it right now. The dough is going to be very soft, so don't panic. That's how it's supposed to be. Just keep pushing it together, just squeezing it in your hand, and very soon you will have a very, very lovely, soft and delicate dough. Very, very soft. It's ready. And now we're going to transfer the dough into our tart dish. I suggest you align it with baking parchment because there is always a possibility of it to sticking to the bottom of your tin or your tart dish, even if you grease it. So to eliminate that possibility altogether, just align it with parchment. Transfer the dough, all of it, nothing left, into the prepared tin or dish, and take a piece of cling film and just gently spread it. Hold the parchment so it's not moving, and just gently spread it all over the bottom, the base of the dish, and up to the walls, to the very top. So what you do is you spread it with a cling film protecting your hand evenly all the way to the sides of the dish. When you are ready and you see that the whole dough is spread evenly in our dish, just take your time, do it gently. The dough is very soft, and because of that it's very easy to actually spread it all over the base of the dish and up the sides. And when it's all done, just very gently peel the cling film off. Here we are, it's perfect. And now we're going to put our dish into the freezer for 1 hour to chill and firm up. Here we are. The crust has chilled, firmed up perfectly. We've preheated the oven to 190 degrees Celsius. I would normally bake this type of pastry at 180, but because it was frozen, we're baking it at 190. We'll line the crust with a piece of tin foil, placing it shiny side down. It's very firm now, so don't worry, you won't ruin it. You can press as hard as you want. Cover it nicely so it's not burning, just baking. Pour some ceramic beans or dried beans into your shell. If we bake it without any weights, it will just puff up and there won't be any room for our filling. We don't need that. We want to have a nice crust, but plenty of room for a beautiful, delicious filling. And now we're going to bake it in the preheated to 190 degrees Celsius oven for 25 minutes. The crust is in the oven, it's almost ready, and once it's ready, we'll prepare the filling. Because you can make the crust right now or even a day in advance, but you can't make the filling before the crust. You have to pour the hot filling into the crust, otherwise if you leave it sitting once it's cooked, it will cool, get lumpy. We want to pour a nice, smooth, silky filling into the crust. Time is up. We take the crust out of the oven and remove the foil and the beans. The foil is never hot. Put the crust back in the oven for 5 minutes, reducing the temperature to 180. The crust is now ready completely. It's lovely, light golden brown and no more. We can now set it aside and prepare the filling. Pour the milk into a saucepan, 600 ml, and add the butter, 40 grams, about 2 tablespoons. And bring it almost to a boil. When it starts bubbling, we'll take it off. I'll move the crust out of the way, and in a bowl, we'll crack the eggs, 2 large eggs. Add the sugar, 100 grams, and the vanilla sugar. I would normally use pure vanilla extract, but for this particular dessert I prefer to use vanilla sugar because I want to keep this perfectly white color for our milky, beautiful filling. That's why we're using vanilla sugar. 1 tablespoon. And just whisk it together. And now we'll add 2 tablespoons of plain flour and 2 tablespoons of corn flour. Whisk it together until it's nice and smooth. So we'll just whisk it and see that the mixture is very smooth with no lumps of flour. nice and smooth. And now the milk is hot, and we're going to add, not all, some of it into the egg and sugar and flour mixture to temper the eggs. Tempering the eggs will ensure that the eggs won't be scrambled and won't go solid. We'll just stirring very, very gently in a very thin stream. Pour the hot milk and butter into this mixture, stirring constantly, like so. This process is called tempering the eggs. That's enough. Now the eggs are tempered, and we're going to pour this mixture back into the saucepan and cook our filling. And now we're going to pour this mixture into the pan, stirring constantly. Bring it to a simmer, and once it starts thickening, cook it for about 5 minutes until the filling is thick. I'll show you how thick. So, it's been cooking for 2 minutes, and as you can see, our mixture is already very thick, but not thick enough. It's bubbling. We cook it on a very low. We don't want to burn it. Cook it on very low, stirring, whisking rather. We're nearly there. The filling is almost as thick as we need it to be. See, it's wobbly. And another 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and we're done. But just keep an eye on it, don't leave it, and keep stirring constantly. It's just a few seconds. Nice. There. It is ready. It's thick, lovely, creamy, and we're taking it off the heat. And now we're going to pour our filling into the crust. Make sure you do it in one go because it sets very quickly, and we want it to be really smooth and have a nice smooth surface. There. Just quickly smooth it out with an offset spatula while it's still very hot. There, ready. And the final touch is we are going to dust it with a good shake of ground cinnamon. There, it's ready. And now we're going to let it cool and then put it in the fridge to chill and set. So I suggest you make it the day before you're going to serve it. Or really early in the morning if you're going to serve it as a dessert for dinner. And once it's chilled in the fridge, it will be very easily removed from the tin or the ceramic dish, and there will be nothing sticking to the parchment, so you just gently unwrap it and it will be very, very easy to slice it and serve. And all that's left to say is gelukkige verjaardag, lieve Bram. My Afrikaans is not very good, so I'll just say it again in English. Happy birthday to you, Bram. Thank you for watching this episode of Culinary Haven, and until next time, bye!